Welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. Let's continue unpacking boxy characters. So we start with a box. Now this time we place a tree inside. If you know Chinese a little bit, this is our most commonly seen radicals. That's a tree. And pronounced as 困 originally means surround or besiege. Traditional looks the same as simplified. 2,000 years ago's dictionary got a little bit more curvature, which got the same frame. Pronounced as way, as a radical, we don't use it independently, just by itself. We have to pair it with some content inside it. Now here we have the tree symbol, and you can see compared with contemporary Chinese tree, which got a streamlined, simply strokes, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. The ancient tree is only 3 strokes. 1, upward curve, downward curve, but it's harder to keep it symmetrical. And if you look at it, the left and right is kind of mirror image, but the top and bottom slightly shows the bottom is bigger. So if you regard this as a bow, the top bow and the bottom kind of flipped image bow is a little bit bigger than the top. That is because this vertical line is the tree trunk, and then the bottom is the root of the tree versus the canopy of the tree. And the root is slightly bigger than the canopy for the tree to stand up. Because when the tree topple, that's because the root cannot hold the weight on the top. So it becomes top heavy, therefore topple, right? So a tree inside some enclosure. Can you see why it means surround? Surround is kind of neutral, actually. We can, in contemporary urban landscaping, we can often see tree used, like intentionally placed somewhere, sometimes in a enclosure, like within a yard or within, I'm sure on a sidewalk, you can see a tree kind of boxed in by otherwise slates of concrete, right? Or along the narrow sidewalk between the curve and the yard, the soil surface, you have the sidewalk and then the tree kind of planted over there. That's kind of in the box. So that's probably more accurate imagery of tree in a box. So we cannot really imprison the tree, but the sense of a tree that's not growing freely in a bigger space, as if in nature. I mean, I have to take it as a condition, like even if the tree grows in nature, it's confined by the surroundings, right? And the competition with the whole ecosystem around it. So here is a human environment. The tree is enclosed. Give you the sense of the tree itself is alive. It has potential. It's going to grow. It's going to get bigger if you let it. But instead, it got limited space. It got this closure around it. Either it's a wall or sidewalks, this box thing, and even worse, like this railings get around it. It's like a human artificial environment to cage the tree, so to speak. And that gives you the sense of we are confining the talent to achieve its full potential. And that's 困. And eventually this 困 not only means physically you're trapped in or stuck in somewhere, but also it can mean hardship, adversary, like a difficult time. Or it can mean you're tired, you're low energy, you're like a tree bounded without achieving your full tree power. So it can got extended into several meanings. Of course, people not really talking about the trees, we're talking about ourselves, using trees as our personification to symbolize ourselves. We have so much life, but we cannot fully spread, that kind of sense. So surround or besieged is the original meaning. Now, some examples for you to see how it's used in context. 人困马乏，人 humans 困 low energy tired 马 horse 乏 fatigued. So 人困马乏. Even if we use 困 and 乏, they're kind of pointing to the same direction. We're describing, I guess, ancient travelers. If you know how to ride a horse, that's probably the fastest way to go anywhere in ancient times. And we're describing this traveler from afar, reached to the point that the human's rider is low energy, and the horse is fatigued. 困兽之斗. Okay, 困 means besieged, caged, surrounded, or cornered. 兽 beast, cornered beast. 之 means the descriptor of the 困兽, caged beast. The next word is going to describe what this caged animal will do. What it will do? It will fight back. Because if the beast is cornered, the only chance for it to get free or not get slaughtered is to fight back. That's the only way out. And so you can imagine the fierce or the danger of that animal. Depends on how caged or cornered that animal is. This condition can trigger the, I guess, visceral feeling of survival, fight for survival, that type of thing. And of course, we're not talking about animals. We're using this cornered animal behavior to talk about somebody who is pushed to the wall. The only option is to fight back. Okay, 穷困潦倒. Here, this 困 is probably long-term, chronic, low energy, and difficult situation. And 穷 particularly means financially poor. Poor and energetically besieged, and 潦倒 means you don't really have much, and you're almost like going to fall. Okay, recent social media popular speak is kill line. 斩杀线. Okay. So this is almost like a pairing. This 穷困潦倒, almost like the central descriptor of what that kill line is about. So it's a gaming term talking about the very end of the bloodline, right? However much energy that player got. And once it reached to a threshold, that's the kill line. Like it's almost like a game over, even if it's not game over yet. But if you drop below that, there's no hope. You're going to die. Like you already can see your future. And so people use that to describe the phenomenon of when somebody fell to a certain financial, like poor and low energy, lost the even the 困兽之斗, right? Lost the energy to fight back, financial means to survive. Then the only like direction a person is going is to be 潦倒, to become like a homeless and kind of spiraling down. It's a vicious cycle to go down. So that 穷困潦倒 simply is a good descriptor of what that kill line is about. So here is a tree next to a wall, and we can almost view it just like this imagery shows here. There we go. 困. Thank you for your time. See you another day.